So what's up everyone? Today, Freestyle Friday, we're going to be looking at some things that I feel are a bit futuristic, and some things that aren't really futuristic. They're just a re-fad or a re-entry back into our lives. And one of the reasons why I'm going to talk about this is I've recently started driving Lyft and Uber. And it's fun, it's interesting, I enjoy doing it. I'm kind of incorporating it as like a social project that I'm working on. But the point of that is that you think about Uber and Lyft and you realize that they're just taxi drivers, just not a taxi. And I always hear this thing about how taxi drivers don't like Uber and Lyft and all this other stuff. So, you know, if you look at the core principle of Uber and Lyft, it's just a newer version of taxi driving. And if you look at a lot of different things in our lives, there's no real new ideas that come out. It's more of just a better version of something that we have out. And a couple other examples I want to talk about is radio. When radio came out, man, that was a huge thing, and people were glued to radios, listening to midnight shows and all kinds of other things, and there was actually dead space at one time where the airwaves would go dead. There were no shows on anymore because people were supposed to go to sleep. So you would actually turn on the radio and there would be nothing on there, just static. Nowadays, you turn on the radio at any time, there's something playing, a commercial, music, a talk show, something, because we have become so accustomed to these things in our lives that it's just happening 24/7. And then TV came on, and that's where one of the big songs from the 80s video, Killed the Radio Star. If you get that reference, you're old like me. But anyways, the point is video came out, and then TV became this thing. First it started out black and white, and then eventually it evolved to color, and everyone lost their minds. And now we're into 4K ultra high def TV, you know, and pretty soon it's gonna look like, you know, it's standing right in front of us like a hologram. So as you can tell, you know, there's nothing new about TV. It just keeps getting improved. And that's the same thing with taxi drivers, you know. In the early days, even to go before taxi drivers, there was horse-drawn carriages that took people places. And then I'm sure there was eventually cars, and then it evolved into taxis and all kinds of other things. You know, we have trolleys, we have buses, we have all kinds of public transportation. But the point I'm trying to make is it has evolved to Uber and Lyft, and it's a very convenient way to get around for some people, I've been noticing. You know, it's real easy to just call somebody up and say, hey, come pick me up, take me over there, and I pay you a little bit of money, and then I go on with my day. Because basically with these improvements that we have in our life, it's to make life more convenient for us. And one of the things that is coming back around as an evolution of these fads or the way that things get improved is podcasting. If you've heard about podcasting or you're big into podcasting, all podcasting is radio. It's evolved into people wanting podcasting more because they don't have time to watch videos. They don't have time to spend in front of a TV watching a TV show. That's why, you know, here's another example. VCRs were to play, you know, tapes of movies or stuff like that, but you could also record live TV and watch it later. Then we came up with DVRs. Now we have things like Netflix and Hulu. We don't even have to go to a movie store anymore and rent a video. Yes, there's Redbox, but the point is everything becomes so convenient. It's at our fingertips. And the thing with, you know, VHS and all that, we've totally evolved past that. And yeah, we're on Blu-ray, but who knows what the next thing's gonna be. You know, it's eventually gonna evolve to something else. and a lot of it's just being digital downloads. I know like Xbox and other places like that, you don't even have to go to the store to buy a game anymore. You can buy it right off your Xbox, and it downloads onto your Xbox, and you start playing. So a lot of things are becoming more convenient, more easy. I mean, even food is becoming easier to obtain. You can do Uber Eats to get food. I mean, I know some places offer takeout or delivery, but with Uber Eats, now a lot of the restaurants you couldn't get food from before, you can sit in your pajamas, Netflix all night, and order from a restaurant. So the the main point that I'm trying to get out of a lot of this is society is evolving. Society is changing. 50 years from now, our kids are going to be going through something totally different with their kids. And, I know a lot of older people than me in their 50s and 60s and 70s look at things like Instagram and YouTube and all this, and they have no idea what the heck they're looking at. I believe that YouTube is going to replace cable or eventually get to a point where it's its own cable provider. It actually gives Comcast and AT&T and other people, DirecTV, a run for their money. You see YouTube originals. You see Netflix is another one that's going to become a cable provider because they're already making their own movies and TV shows. So as you can see, things evolve. There's nothing really new that comes out. It's just an evolution of something that already exists. And I think that's true for the human body as well, the human mind and experience. We as individuals evolve too. And what we need to do is we need to look at these things around us that are evolving and realize that, hey, we're evolving into a society that's a little bit more contracted, a little bit more reserved, and kind of, I'm not really going to go out into the world and socialize as much. Now, I feel that there's some contradictions with that with Uber and Lyft and a couple other services that are out there that cause you to socially engage with somebody. Now, there have been rides where somebody gets into my car and they say hello, and I say hello, and I ask them how their day's going, and they say good, and then that's the end of the conversation because they really just don't want to talk. And you know what? I get that. Some people just aren't talkers. Obviously, I'm one of those people. I hate talking. But they, I take them to the destination and they say thank you, goodbye, and they take off. And to them, that's a pleasant experience. That is exactly what they were hoping for. They didn't want to have to interact very much. They got to where they were going, and they got there safely. That's perfectly acceptable. Now, other people I've had, they get in the car, they talk, they conversate. We have a good conversation. It's fun. It's socially engaging. And then they leave, and it was a fun time, interacting with that person. It's very interesting how even now we still have people who fall under the line of being social, and even with all of these, I don't want to call them narcissistic things, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they can become those types of things due to being behind a screen and everyone else not seeing who you really are other than what you type. But that's what those things are at the core, but you don't have to be that way as an individual. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, I remember another example of evolution is MySpace to Facebook. So a lot of you remember MySpace. If you don't, you're probably too young for it. But a lot of people who are on Facebook right now started with MySpace, especially people my age. When we were younger, we were all on MySpace, and we eventually migrated to Facebook, and now here we are. So it'll be interesting to see how things evolve. And I think that's happening right now with people kind of moving to Instagram. Even though Facebook owns Instagram, it's still a migration that's happening. So who knows, in 5 years from now, we could see the next Instagram or Facebook happening, people migrate to that. We could see a whole new YouTube platform come out and people migrate to that. We could see an evolution to Uber and Lyft and people migrate to that. The point is we as people are always evolving, and we're always changing, and we always want to better ourselves. And whether it be with these types of platforms or services, also within ourselves, we can do it. We can take what we see in our everyday lives and we can improve on those things. We could look at it and be like, look, I'm not going to do something new. I'm going to improve how I do something, or improve something in my life, whether it be the way you eat. Maybe it's how much you sleep, how much water you drink, any types of things like that. Maybe instead of driving your car down to the corner store, you ride a bike instead to, preserve nature, or even take a walk. All these different things are ways that you can evolve personally, as well as evolve with all of the technology that's going on. Because let's face it, things happen, times change, and we evolve with it. So I wanted to talk about those things today, share my thoughts on what I've been thinking about lately with a lot of those different things. And maybe you guys feel the same way. If you do, hit me up with a comment down below. If you liked what you heard in this video, give me a like. Share it off to some people. Let them hear, what other people are thinking about in the world today. But more importantly, if you're first time here, I thank you for stopping by, watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, come back, watch my other stuff, or go back and watch some of the older stuff. But anyways, I do this for you guys to motivate, educate, and entertain. But I really hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and God bless.